Hello and welcome, Exiles, to the final form of the Relic of the Pact Gladiator. I say final form not because it's actually the best you can do on this character, but because I'm finally ready to swap over to Val BV. I've been farming a lot with Relic of the Pact, had a great time, and now it's time to say, hey, we have enough currency, let's do the swap to Val BV and see what that Val Sacrifice support is all about. So, I wanted to give you guys a rundown of what the final form I got the Relic of the Pact character to, not the final form of what you could take the character to. There's a lot of upgrades you could still make on the character, but let's go ahead and showcase a synth boss, because I've been running a lot of these synth bosses because I'm trying to drop apostates, because I'm trying to double corrupt for a +2 for Val Blade Vortex. Deep down, I am intrinsically a little scared of the Val BV swap because in my mind, Relic of the Pact is this insane, like, very strong thing. And deep down, in my heart of hearts, I think I'm going to swap the Val BV, and it's probably just going to be weaker than Relic of the Pact. So I'm over-gearing to try to compensate for that. And one of the things I'm doing to over-gear is... Ooh, Divine Arm. One of the things I'm doing to over-gear is to attempt to get a +2 chest to help alleviate the fact that I'm pretty sure when I swap, I'm going to deal less damage than what I'm doing right now with Relic of the Pact. But that's okay. We're going to do it anyways. So when I say we've made some upgrades to this characters, you'll notice one thing in particular. Looking at the ring slots, we no longer are using the will ring, which we were using to balance out for that 92% reservation. And this is all thanks to the new currency, the Volatile Valor, which I made a video on yesterday. And specifically, one of the things I wanted to do with the Volatile Valor was roll the Reservation on my Essence Worm, specifically, ideally, to hit 92, and that actually happened yesterday, which I was just dumbfounded that I actually hit 92. If it hit 94 or 96, you could make it work with a couple Reservation Implicit jewels. If you hit 93 or 91, you can make it work as a slightly lower 1 tick. Instead of a 91 reservation, you'll be an 80% reservation. This loses you damage in AoE, but it gains you a bit more like response time, where you can stand in dots longer and get a little bit more away with it. So there's pros to both. I definitely prefer the 91% reservation tick, the higher damage, the bigger AoE. But the 80% reservation 1 tick does give you a little bit more leeway and a little bit more freedom to misplay and stand in a dot while casting, give you a little bit more time to respond to it. So yeah, that was one of the big upgrades today, because that allowed us to drop the Will of Offering, which we were only using to get to 92% reservation. The other thing that happened today is we made ourselves a Crit Multi plus Life Ring. This is basically Essence of Scorn on a Manifold Ring, and this is one of the other ways you could get 92 reservation, because if Volatile Valor didn't work for Essence Worm, or you're having trouble rolling the 92 reservation Essence Worm, you can recom transfer life reservation efficiency onto a manifold, fracture it, and then Essence of Scorn, and then if the life reservation goes negative, that will give you reduced reservation efficiency to help you get to that 92 number with like a Treachery Tattoo or whatever you combine with it. So that's the thought process there. So yeah, that was the big upgrades there. The other upgrades we've made since the last video is we've made ourselves some very good rares, basically doing a few life plus ES crafts. Now I'm going to talk about how I crafted these pieces, because people have been asking me about this. Warlock Boots. The fossil combination is Hollow, Glyphic, Corroded. Hollow for the Abyss socket. Glyphic adds the Corrupt Essence mod, which there's 5 mods it can choose from now. And Corroded eliminates 2 of those 5 mods. The one mod you care about is Cannot Be Poisoned. So that's what you're putting in there to try to hit Cannot Be Poisoned plus Abyss socket. And then you annul off the extra suffix and do a suffix can be changed, reforge Chaos to target Chaos Res. You do these on Warlock Boots with Fractured Life. Ideally, the reason we're doing this is because you're trying to swap over to Apostate, which gives you a bunch of life based on the ES on your gear, like your boots, your helmet, your gloves, your shield, that sort of thing. So that is the boot craft. Once you get the suffixes done, it's just Bristle Matron for suffix can't be changed, Veiled Chaos, Unveil. You want movement speed plus movement speed, or movement speed plus onslaught. If you want to drop the onslaught flask, that will allow you to do so. So that's the thing you're looking for. And then you want CDR for DPS, or Avoid Bleed for a bit more strength. Probably CDR is just better, let's be real. CDR is very good for this build. This character, the cast rate is limited by CDR. One of the big min-max upgrades we could do for this build that I didn't get around to doing is adding, for example, a Shaper Influence to your Wrathpith, and then getting the CDR Bound by Destiny for 20 CDR. Very nice damage upgrade because you are limited for your cast rate by CDR. Next up, after the boots, for the helmet craft, it's pretty much just Aberrant plus Hollow Fossil, and you're doing those sorts of things for Chaos Res plus Abyssal Socket, annulling off the extra affix. Suffix can be changed. You can Veiled Exalt or Veiled Chaos, trying to add a Veiled Suffix, and you want to unveil Chaos Res. This is all about trying to get our Chaos Res a bit more fixed. In the end, I didn't get enough upgrades to get it up to 75, but having 44 Chaos Res feels a hell of a lot better than negative 50 like I was in the video before this one. After that, one big upgrade I want to mention is doing Volatile Val Orbs on your Untouched Soul. This can take a 40 life roll and get it up to 48, maybe even 49. With quality, I think max roll might be around, I want to say the max roll might be around 58 or 59 with a good multiplier on it. Just use some random amulets without any enchant. Don't spend money on Fertile Catalyst. Just do Tainted Catalyst after the fact if you hit a good multiplier. So that's the main upgrades we did there. Another big upgrade you can go for is Volatile Val Orbs on your Wrathpith. Getting 6% spell damage is like 20% more damage, close to it, because most of our spell damage comes from this shield, as well as spell crit would help as well to make that effective crit chance a bit better. So yeah, that's going on. That's what you're going on for Volatile Val Orbs is the amulet, the shield, and then rare crafts on the boots and gloves. Late game on this character, when we swap over to Val BV, I think I'll consider dropping Untouched Soul because we'll have a lot more socket pressure with Val BV. But for Relic of the Pact, this thing is just oh so nice. So yeah, that's what's going on with the characters gearing right now. Other upgrades you could go for is like 6% life on Entropic Devastation or a Volatile Val Orb to get like 60% Impale effect, stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of the rundown of the big upgrades we made on the characters gearing. Some of the other upgrades, we started adding some Chaos Res tattoos throughout our build. If you can get more int on your gear, you can do more Chaos Res tattoos, but we're doing that. I added in some AoE just to make it a bit better feeling for clear. If you want to be a clear speed monster, if you want to do more focus on mapping, I would recommend just dropping some life nodes and consider going for, you could go for like AoE wheel here. You could go for a pathing where you go down like this through, getting rid of a lot of this middle pathing here, getting rid of this crit multi, and you can go AoE nodes, you get rid of this pathing here, you're going just life this way. That sort of thing could add you a lot of AoE. You can also consider large clusters. So yeah, that's some of the rundown of the later stages of the Relic of the Pact character. I'm not going to go and re-explain the mechanics of Dissolution and all that sort of stuff, but if you are curious, watch my day 2 video. I go over the mechanics of Dissolution, Relic of the Pact. If you're wondering, are you dying? What's going on? That video explains it. I don't really want to go through explain it again since I already did it for that video. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the Relic of the Pact character. I enjoyed it a lot. Did a lot of currency farming, and it's worked out pretty dang well for me. And now the next update will be all about the Val BV setup. Whether or not it works, I'm nervous about it, and so I'm over gearing to help compensate for the fact I think it's probably just going to be weaker than Relic because Relic's really strong. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm afraid for nothing, and it's actually going to be insane. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching, Exiles. As always, take care, and peace out. Have a good one, guys.